Okay, so let's look at your assigned work for Module 4. So let's just take a peek back at the practice problems here for Module 4. If we click on that, we have done all of the examples, including that very last problem that we just looked at, okay? These need to be handed in the format that I went over during our lecture for the practice problems portion of this module. The second part of this, don't forget to answer 2 things that you learned in Module 4. And then this time, instead of telling me something you need practice on, I want you to name and describe 3 places that you see applications of gears in your everyday life. Okay? So just kind of look around and see if you can, you can find at least 3 in your everyday life. Okay? So that's practice problems that you're going to be handing in. No CAD work for the practice problems at all. It's just going to be working them out just like we did by hand, if you would, with the answers for each one of the problems. Same thing for assignment number 4. Okay. Now, assignment number 4, I think we looked at everything up and through 10:16. That would have been the stuff that we had looked at the other day. So all of these are there. Now, as a reminder for 9, 13, and 14, there is a reference in the problem statement to internal gears. As I said the last time we were together, make sure that you change them all to external gears. So I did put that note here on the assignment as well. So if you're reading it and you're like, wait a second, we didn't go over internal gears, you're right. So I want you to just use external. So we're going to use the equations that we did there. So the last problems that you have here, the last 4, 25, 26, 50, and 52 are going to be pertaining to the things that we looked at in the second part of this lecture. So let's open up to the back of this chapter, the end of this chapter, and we'll kind of just go through and make sure we all have a good idea of what to do for each of these problems. Okay. So the problems start on page 295, and you are going to start with problem number 5. And if you look directly above, the problem statement is up here. It says for problems 5 through 8, determine the following. Now, if you look back at the assignment, it's just 5A and just 6A. So you only need to do the center distance for the descriptions that are here for both 5 and 6. So just the center distance, because they're called out as 5A and 6A, okay? Then we're going to go up to the top of the next column, and here it says for problems 9 or 10:9 through 10:14, determine the following. The pitch diameter, which would be lowercase d, and the center distance for each of the described problem statements. So for number 9, this is where they're referencing an internal gear. I want you to change that to external, okay? Same for number 13 and number 14. For each one of these 3, you want the pitch diameters and the center distance, okay? All external gears. The next problem that you have are going to be 15 and 16. And for each one of the problem statements here, you're going to calculate the speed of the gear, okay, that it's asking for, and the pitch line velocity, so VT. Okay, W and VT here. Then as we turn the page, 25 and 26, these are gear selections. So you're going to use the information from the book, okay? And we did an example problem just like this. So it's going to give you the horsepower, the pinion RPM, and you need to determine the appropriate catalog gears using table 10.7. So you have to pick a diametral pitch, and you have to pick the number of teeth on a pinion and a gear that are going to accomplish the desired reduction in speed. So from 1800 RPMs to 480. So use that example 1010, I believe, was the one that we went through. Okay. Same thing for number 26. All right. And then the last 2 problems you have, 1050. The gear illustration is right here, and it starts the problem statement at the bottom of page 297, and it finishes it up at the top here. You're going to determine the velocity, or the W, of gear 5 as gear 2 drives 1200 RPM clockwise. Also determine the center distance. So this is just like the second to last example that we worked on. And then your final problem is number 1052. You're going to use the same illustration that we have down here that we used for 53, except you've got different numbers. Okay, so same process as problem 53 that we did in our practice problems. Okay. All right, so any questions at the moment on your assignment number 4? The final answers are here. Okay, if we look for chapter 4. Now, let me see. For number 25 and number 26. Number 25 and number 26. You need to do more than one iteration. Okay, I'm giving you the final answer. Okay, so this is where you pick a set of gears. I want to see more than the 16 and the 60. I want to see more than that. I want to see how you tried some other versions and didn't get something to work out perfectly. If you show me just one set using 16 as your pinion and 20 as your gear, you're getting points off, okay, for that problem. Same thing for number 26. I want to see a couple different iterations there where you tried something and it didn't work. All right. So keep that in mind. And then you'll notice that you have the final answers for these as well. But you have to show all the work how to get there. So any questions on, should go back over here, any questions on assignment number 4? All right, make sure you do the things that we did in our practice problems, showing the equations in variable forms, units in all phases of the problem, canceling, combining where appropriate, identifying directions clockwise, counterclockwise, where appropriate, okay? All right, then that's all that I have. I'm gonna stop the recording